Rolling. Episode 525, No Laugh Track podcast here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis, Minnesota. My name is Justin Severson. Get to sit here on the stage each and every week and host this thing. I am very thankful for that, to be here with Mary Mack and Brandi Brown today as well. Mary's recording. This is just for you, I'm sure, right?
I'm recording for you, Justin.
Oh.
Look I'm gonna put you on a video. I know Acme does a video, but there's no way it's as good as my iPhone 5.
Oh.
I'm gonna make sure you got some solid footage.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, we iPhone 5 is going to blow away any technology we have here. I mean.
Yeah, none of this 4K measly. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. Here we are, guys.
We're here. Brandi Brown.
Yeah.
I tricked her into coming. So she came. You were in semi-retirement.
I was just not around. I mean, I wasn't retired or in semi-retirement. I just had been working on other projects.
Yeah, Mary, stop stealing my questions. Because number one for Brandi Brown is how much comedy you're doing, because I haven't seen you around Acme a lot.
I've been doing like a lot of writing and like publishing stuff and other freelance projects. But yeah, I kind of took a step back from comedy just to refocus myself. And I was like, what am I doing? What are my jokes? And I got to the point where I was like, I've forgotten my jokes largely, which is good. And I can refresh. Because I have like a notebook. I'd been writing. It's just life.
Okay. What?
She's back and better than ever, though.
Yeah,
So.
Can we dig just a little more into that? What type of stuff are you writing? Isn't stand-up comedy or is stand-up comedy?
I wrote, it's not stand-up stuff. I have some stuff I can't talk about under NDA, but like
Look
I
at
did
that.
publish something with Defector magazine, and it was about the llama costume contest at the state fair.
Which I attended.
Yeah, that was in September. I think that was published in September.
This
few
sounds
weeks ago.
like, yes, this sounds familiar now.
Did my
yes.
crop art at the state fair, so.
What crop art? You did crop art again?
Yeah, I did a tribute. It was the 35th anniversary of the peace doves at the 1988 Olympics accidentally getting cooked in the cauldron.
What?
Yeah, so there haven't
What
been
is that?
so there haven't been live peace doves at release at the opening ceremony since 1988.
doves. Okay,
since
yeah.
1988. Like if you watch the opening ceremonies, it's always like people dressed as birds or like a projection of birds, because in 1988 in Seoul, they released the birds and the birds went to the top of the cauldron and sat there. And then the way that the cauldron worked is like the 4 torchbearers were at the bottom of it and the platform raised, and they had to like raise their arms to light the torch, and then they did, and the birds caught fire. So there have been no more. So I made a piece dedicated to that.
I love that. How many times have you participated in the crop art?
Oh,
At the state
like
fair?
3 or 4 times. I try to do it every year, but sometimes I get busy, and 2020.
Sure.
Do it.
Did you get any like
I got a ribbon.
for this? Or
I got
any
a
of these?
ribbon the first year I did it. I got a ribbon in the wearable art category a few years ago because I made high
Wearable
top
art.
sneakers with like state fair themed high top sneakers was crop art. For the listeners, that's like you take seeds and plants and you
Sire sneakers.
make like mosaics on them. Yeah.
It is some of the most. I mean, we never skip that part of the state fair. My whole family,
Yeah.
we love looking at all those. They're amazing.
Well, one of my albums 3 albums ago was crop art
That's
for the
right.
art. Book.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Liz Schreiber, and now she teaches it at the fair, and she actually made the state fair
Yeah,
poster.
didn't she do the poster this year?
She did the
Yeah.
poster this year,
And it was displayed in the fine arts category, or the fine arts building. Normally, the crop art is in horticulture because it's crops and stuff.
Yeah.
But if you win the state fair design, you are displayed in the entry of the fine arts building. So it was really good.
I was wondering why I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have a
'cause
picture I can
went-
show you later. I took a picture.
Oh, good, yeah.
One of the local newspapers each year around Easter does like the dioramas with those little peeps.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that one too, or is that like
No, I just do the
beneath-
crop art every year. I was in the Star Tribune though, because there's a big mustard seed controversy as well.
That's right. I knew there was. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So somebody snitched. So the rules for crop art. Sorry, I'm derailing your thing.
No.
Oh, this is
No,
way
no.
better.
The rules for
anything.
crop art are that the seeds have to grow as crops in the state of Minnesota. They don't have to be native here, but they can't be like, they can't be like invasive species, and they have to be at like a certain threshold of like farm crops or something like that. So it can't be like someone's randomly growing something in their backyard. I can get into why I have questions there, but because sometimes they use U of M experimental seeds, which aren't like widely used because they're U of M experimental seeds, but whatever.
Sure.
Somebody like, and so on the rules it says like all the seeds you can use, for example, and if you have a question you can contact the superintendent of the Ag Hort building. But mustard seeds were all inclusive: brown, white, yellow mustard. And yellow mustard is a beautiful round yellow seed with a hard casing, and that's important because one of the categories you can dye your seeds and paint them, which means that it's not going to absorb the paint and like get misshapen. Somebody snitched, and like we got this email being like yellow mustard won't be allowed. They originally weren't going to allow it for 2023, but people start their piece like right after the fair ends.
I'm
So
sure.
they're like, yeah, we want to allow it past now. And I was like, but why not? And they're like, well, it doesn't grow in Minnesota. And everyone's like, well, some places like up north, like a few farms do it. It's North Dakota mostly and parts of Canada. And it became like a whole thing. And I was like mildly irritated, but also like a rabble rouser. And I was like, so I made a piece also that just said who snitched on yellow mustard, and then it had like a mouse, like a rat. And I made it out of like all my yellow mustard because I just had a bunch I had to use up.
Right.
It was dyed from my main piece.
Yeah.
And then someone from the Star Tribune who followed me on social media hit me up, and apparently, and like the state auditor is really into crop art, and so I was talking to her about it, and apparently they're now gonna bring it to like the state farm board to be like, well, is this allowed? Do you guys grow this enough? So I don't know what's going on with yellow mustard, but somebody snitched, and we don't know why. We don't know if they're a hater. My theory is it's a new person who is just really like checking the rules and be like, is this okay? But the other thing,
If they're getting away with this, we're putting an end to it.
but the other thing is there are some other seeds that are legal, that are like broadly legal, but if we like really dug into it, you'd be like, but I'm not going to say, I'm not going to snitch.
I wish you could use any seed, like acorns. I wish you could
You can use acorns in certain categories with plant parts and stuff.
Wouldn't it be neat if you could use dandelion seeds, the fluffs, and you could glue them on for like a three-dimensional effect? Like maybe I want to enter now.
There are other
If I
things I
can-
think you can get that same fluff with. Yeah. Yeah, there are other things that are legal. And the
Milkweed?
plant, yeah, milkweed would be legal.
Sounds like you could bring in a partner for next
Yeah.
year. You got a willing partner here.
You should just do crop art. I can do the crop art for your album. I'll just sit there in the back working on it tonight.
I'm really thinking dandelion seeds and I don't know what else. Acorns.
Is this just because you're trying to clear out your yard that's full of dandelions and acorns?
Yeah, I don't think dandelions are legal. I don't think they're going to allow that. Well, you can technically use anything that just won't be eligible for a prize, but they'll let you hang it up.
Boo.
Yeah.
All right, we got to talk about why we're here this week at Acme. Why, Mary, why are you here this week?
I am doing a headlining date and recording an album. Wednesday through Saturday, recording an album, and then tonight, Friday, and Saturday, I'm recording 2 different comedy specials on the video. And
Two
trying to
different?
sell them. Yeah, I'm going to try to sell them. Or if my other goal would be just to, like, I have a goal that I could get, like, over 50,000 views on YouTube. That's, like, a goal for this, too. I mean, is that small?
That's very small.
Is it? I have no idea.
Yes.
You could hit that goal.
You'll
easily.
definitely
You'll
hit
get
that.
goal.
And you can get more like fans that way. But I'm gonna shop it around a little bit. So that's why we're doing everything in 4K, and we're doing good sound, and like a lot of cameras. There's a spy camera above you right now.
Looking at my notes, stealing my notes.
Yeah, it is. Well, so one is just a regular standard comedy show recording, just regular old boring comedy.
Oh, like the normal, regular, boring thing at Acme. Most nights. Is that how you're trying to say that?
No, it's fun. We've had such good crowds too this week. It's so much fun. But then the late night one is. When does this come out? Because I don't want to give it away.
It depends on how quickly.
Oh. Okay, so if people like an alternative form of comedy, that's all I say. Then the Friday late show and Saturday late show will be more of oh god, it'll become more of a mockumentary of a comedy show.
Wow.
Like a Christopher Guest style. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's gonna be a dog show.
Yeah, dog and pony. And a dog show and a folk show.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I
Best in
don't have
show.
any dogs coming. I did that. I did one time have an ugly Christmas sweater dog for dogs contest, where I had like 12 dogs in my show wearing Christmas sweaters. But this is
You're not supposed to do. Don't they steal
that
the
at the
they
Cedar
steal the
Culture.
spotlight? Don't they? Working with animals like that.
I don't care. I just loved them so much. I had to have like a Wrangler and a liability insurance but it was the funnest thing. But it was at a time when I didn't know how to even like put a picture online, or like I didn't have like the equipment to take a high resolution. And there's a period of time, right, where there's like before the really good smartphones, and then just that period of time, like probably about 10 years, where I don't have pictures because I thought my crappy little flip phone could take photos, and you can't even print them out. They're so bad, and I didn't have any other photos. This was at that time.
Yeah.
And it would have been great to have pictures of all that stuff, but
You should have a show with cats. Really challenge yourself.
Oh, yeah, no way. That's a real challenge, boy. Yeah, but I wish I had photos from that. It's like this weird gap in technology where people didn't realize how bad the technology was. They ditched their cameras.
You're right.
And
Even that, like I was taking pictures at, I don't know, maybe like a digital camera, but then where are those now? I don't even know where I saved those. If I backed them up somewhere, yeah, there's a decade of no pictures, pretty much.
There really is.
Yeah,
There
you're
really
right.
is.
That's for the best for a lot of us. Yeah.
Probably.
I'm trying to print out photos again, I'm printing photos and want to make a book out of stuff. Not a book, but like my own little picture book for my family.
Yeah.
And
An old-fashioned
I
photo
just
album.
miss so many years because of how bad the pictures were. So I don't know. Where am I? What are we talking about?
We're talking about technology. So, how many cameras you got filming the thing this weekend?
Well, Acme has
Up, they got one above you, one on the left, one on the right, one in the center.
Four for Acme, and then I have another audience camera, 2 audience cameras, and then I have 3 roaming cameras.
What?
So we'll have a bunch of footage.
I have never heard of such a big production
Then
going on here.
everyone in the audience will be filming themselves.
Yeah.
So it's like some extra
Yeah, right.
500
That would be great. Yeah.
angles.
Well, we got a lot going on, so.
Holy moly. I know that from following and being friends with you on social media that you've been doing a ton of shows getting ready for this.
Yeah, 'cause I wrote all these jokes. One of them's been over a year, one joke, but all these jokes are less than a year old. And then I kind of just didn't do comedy as much in the summer. I produced a different show, so I wasn't doing a lot of comedy. So really, I had to jam in just a month straight on the road to remember how to do the jokes that I'm doing tonight.
Sure.
And then I did a little in January and February, but I didn't do much. I mean, like, so this is real fresh.
The last
material.
album you released got you an appearance on the Tonight Show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so. It wasn't that long. It was less than a year ago, Mary.
Yeah,
It wasn't
less
that
than a
long
year
ago.
It
Yeah.
feels like 20 years ago.
Does it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been nuts, man. Time. Do you guys notice, like, after the pandemic, time is just like this jello that doesn't have a mold to sit in. It's just this blob floating. I'm like, 'cause every, like, 3 years for me of, especially 'cause my mom had cancer, so we didn't do any of the time markers. We didn't do State Fair for 3 years.
Sure.
We didn't do our main time markers.
Yeah.
So, and traditions, right? That marks time. It's just all, like, there's some things in my life that have happened, and I try to think, was that 5 years ago, or was that, like, this year? Just, it's so weird. I never got my time.
Well, I have
just
3, like
time
we
back.
talked about briefly before we started, 3 daughters. I have no concept of time.
I just put everything in my
Yeah.
calendar, so like I'll just go back and look.
Yeah.
Which is also like how I do expenses. I was like, oh, that's that
yeah,
mileage.
yeah. Oh,
So yeah, like that's the only way I know. If it's not in my calendar, it did not happen.
Right.
Can we talk about a few things that I learned from your set the other night, Mary?
Oh, for this week you were listening.
Yes.
Yes.
I was unaware that I knew about wine in a box. I didn't know wine came in a bag. I had to
Oh my
Google
God.
that and see what that looked like.
It's also an educational program, Justin.
Your comedy?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know the wine in the bag, and
Not enough.
Not enough. And it's always like a wine that's named like pool toy, or like it's just like rubber duck.
What?
It has like a child's. It's like this wine is for like 19-year-olds, right? Who just want to like stuff it in their backpack, not get in trouble.
Wait, so it's not the bladder from the box of wine?
No, it's an actual just bag.
Oh, they got rid of
and there's a little
packaging.
handle. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, I couldn't picture it either. I had to Google it.
Because I
so.
know people who
Nice.
take the bag out of the box of wine and just
Sure.
use that.
Well, I could see if you're on a hike or something.
Like a camel pack.
but no, it's like that is really cool. And then a lot of people don't know what a walking taco is, and I talk about that too. And then I have to explain what a walking taco is.
I'm more surprised that we've only had walking tacos for like the last maybe decade or so. Like where were
Thank
they?
God,
Where were
yeah.
they before that?
I feel like
No, I know. Oh, sorry. They
I go on.
no, they are in the decade. It's been a decade, and I used to do these colleges, and I would pay the students not to eat their walking taco until after I was done with my show, because it would always be free walking tacos and comedy. And then
Is it the bag itself is
bag,
loud?
It's so loud.
Yeah.
Can you
Might as well
imagine?
just
like
give out
three-
sun chips.
Yes, 300 kids opening bags and smushing them up and then scooping themselves in there. Oh, God. It was like a nightmare. I remember I would always be like, I just put a ton of ones in my bag and start handing out ones to the
No.
front. Yes,
No.
I did. I could handle it. And I think they just felt so bad for me that they're like, yeah, okay.
Okay, we're all stoned and super hungry, but we'll hold off. We'll wait. Another part of your the actor doing these days that really hit me at home was something that you brought up about public and private pants. Because I just had a moment the other day where my wife 2 days ago tried to send me to the the gas station. It was just half a block down the street.
Yeah.
Will you go walk over there and get me something to drink? And I was like, I'm in my pajama pants. I'm not ready to leave the house yet.
Thank
She's like,
you.
you're just going to go over to the gas station. I'm like, that's
Thank
not
you,
me yet.
Justin. A true gentleman. A real that's respect. Those people at that gas station deserve your respect. They are performing a business transaction for you, right? They are counting out currency. They are handling they are handling financial notes.
They didn't show up in their jammies,
They
right?
sure did.
Yeah.
And yet you go into a Quick Trip and you see this 85-year-old poor woman like cleaning out the coffee machines, and all these people who try to come in barefoot with their fleece jammy pants. Like, it pisses me off so bad. Like, this woman worked her whole... Can I swear on this?
Go for it. Now you can.
This woman worked her whole fucking life. She's cleaning out your coffee machine. You're using this, right? You're coming in with your slob clothes on. Respect the people. And I don't mention that even in the bit. I just say it's like a disability where people forget to take off their private pants.
My oldest daughter has a boyfriend. A teenage boy. I've never seen him in not like you even met.
Joggers.
Yes,
They
or
come-
like I think he
so-
has the SpongeBob SquarePants
Oh, yeah.
sleeping
God, I
pants that you
hate
mentioned
those.
on stage. Honestly,
I have an embarrassing story. I had a public access show in high school, and
here we go.
I found a video and I found a still of we interviewed Greg Allen Williams, a friendly black cop from Baywatch, and in this picture I am wearing a white turtleneck, Adidas like slides, and pajama pants on camera,
Well,
interviewing a man in
Oh.
a suit.
oh, God.
But my friends were wearing like casual clothes, but I was definitely underdressed because it was like the '90s high school. Everyone wore pajama pants to school. It was fair.
I do remember a time when it was worse than this. At least now there is like this fashion about it. Cause I gotta be honest, I have my own soft pants, and
Oh, they're the best.
I know.
I mean,
they're
they are.
great. But also, like, am I working? You know what I mean? Like, I need to feel like I'm working.
Right.
And so, but I have these pants, and they're like joggers, but they do have like pockets. They're like fitted. They're like, they look a little more professional than jammies. And I know every young man in the country, that's what they're told is a nice thing to wear.
Oh, yeah.
out. So it's not. They just don't know that there was a time when that wasn't.
Well, Carhartt makes leggings. That's what I was wearing last night.
Oh, my.
Yeah, those are Carhartt leggings.
You looked nice last night.
Yeah, the Carhartt leggings. They have they're cargo pants, and then they're also like leggings, and they're really nice. And I've worn them to like business stuff, and
Wow.
yeah, Carhartt.
Look at that.
Yeah.
She found the loophole. She found the loophole. It's Carhartt.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I get it.
I want to tell. We have to mention. We don't have a ton of time left. We have to mention that I saw on X, formerly known as Twitter. What do you call it, Brandi? I know you still
I call
love
it Twitter. I don't respect that.
Good. Me too. So Twitter. I saw on Twitter that you posted. First of all, I have to say you're still one of the best follows on
Oh,
Twitter,
thank
Brandi.
you.
You absolutely are. 'Cause
Yeah.
you're one of the few people that's still active.
Yeah.
For one, but you're a very
But she
interesting
was
and entertaining
always
follow.
good on Twitter.
Yeah, she's great on
Always
there.
great.
Absolutely one of my favorites. One of the things you posted the other day was that you had the honor of letting Mary know about the strike.
Yeah, it was great.
Can we talk?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
That was so cool. So I was, just checking my phone, like waiting right before to bring her off or something. I was like eating my salad or something, and it said like someone tweeted like the strike. We have a tentative deal, and I was like, oh my god! And so I was like, oh, I get to tell Mary. And then Calvin, our feature, came in the green room. I was like whispering. I was like, strikes. I'm like mouthing. He's like, what? I'm like, strikes. So he's like, what? Did it just happen? And then he like opens his phone. He's like, because he does acting stuff too.
Oh.
And so I got to tell Mary, and so I was like, yeah, you're going to want to stay on stage for this. And then I told her the strike was over. And then do you remember what you said, which was very funny?
Oh yeah, it's not a great deal because I mean like it's helpful, but it's not a great deal. But actors are not the smartest people, and I said it a little differently. Like yesterday, Fran Drescher was trying to think of the word for something that happens twice a year, so semi-annual, and she couldn't think of that word. I mean, granted, she was probably partying the night before because she was, but I mean, come on.
I think she also thinks 5G will like hurt your brain too. So like she's got some interesting thoughts going on.
She's really motivational when she gets into it, and that's what I guess they needed. But I mean, like the first negotiation, they just wanted a 2% increase in like streaming royalties. Like everybody watches. I knew this was bad over 10 years ago. I was like, this is not new media anymore. Netflix and Hulu are the most watched platforms. Why are we still calling this new media? Nobody's getting royalties. So the difference between royalties from your network shows that are on the 4 main channels.
Sure.
And this is insane. I like immediately the first negotiation they came down to 1% instead of a 2%. I'm like, you just don't go half. You don't give them half away the first when you go back to the table. I'm like, this is not cool. Then also the way we did the strike was like some productions could go and some couldn't. And so like, all right, streaming cartoons, like our one cartoon we couldn't go because the other guys they also have TV shows that are on my cartoon. So we could have if we wanted to, which makes no sense. See, that's not what I wanted was for that guy running the auto workers union, the
Sean Fain.
UAW, United Auto Workers. Yes, I wanted him to run SAG because
Everybody wants him to run their union.
Oh my God, he's fantastic. You know what?
Throw him in a commercial. Get him a card.
They did it mob style. The UAW, they know what they're doing. They say, okay, these plants are coming off, like this however many 100,000 workers or whatever it was, they're on strike, and then they go to the table, they negotiate. Oh, you don't want to negotiate? Okay, we're gonna bring another 30,000 people.
Like he literally
on
stood
strike.
up in a meeting and he's like, he's like, we have this deal. Like, what do you want? And the car people are like, we don't have anything. And he just gets on the phone. He's like, shut Kentucky down now.
Yeah.
Like he did it right there.
Yes, and that's what
Wow.
you need to do. You don't give them little piecemeal things because you need to say, guess what? Commercials are out. No more commercials. Guess what? Animators are now on strike. So you know what? In that Sean guy, what he did, he said, oh, Stellantis, you're not going to negotiate. Well, we're going to take another plant out. And you know what? The plants who make the parts, they're gone now too.
And he
It's
also set up, he
amazing.
also set it up so that their contracts expire like May Day in 2028, I think. And so he told everyone, he's like, every union have your contracts expire 2028, so let's just shut it all down.
Oh, wow.
A royalties thing I saw that was like really pissing me off is Spotify, which is already terrible. Spotify has audiobooks now, and I get my audiobooks through the library. Occasionally I'll buy one on Audible. What I found out that they're doing, I was like, how is this, I pay for premium, and I was like, how is this all these like bestsellers are like 6 months wait at the library or something? How are these all for free? And so I tweeted about it, and someone was like, an author was like, yeah, we get no royalties. They apparently struck like the publishers like struck some sort of deal that didn't even like contact people's agents. It's gross. And so I'm just like,
Horrible.
I can't listen to Spotify. I will not listen to those audiobooks.
No, I don't support Spotify. I
Yeah.
won't use it. I won't listen. I encourage people to use Pandora, or just get the XM Sirius app. So I make good money on Sirius XM. They pay fairly for your streaming, and they own Pandora. So you do make a little money
that's right
on
now, yeah.
Pandora. But for me to get $10, somebody on Spotify has to stream one of my tracks. It's like 60,000 to 100,000 times in order for me to get $10.
Yeah.
And that's impossible. I'm never gonna get that many streams on a track.
No.
And then you're only 50% of those royalties. And then if you have a deal with an agent too, then you're screwed even more. And then you're paying taxes on it. Because, there's no mileage on royalty. You're just paying taxes on
Yeah.
what you're making.
Well, I
there.
heard even XM kind of on one of the networks in Canada kind of screws comedians there too, because Just for Laughs took it over. And so it bumped off a bunch of like independent Canadian artists, and already it's so much harder to do stand up and make money in Canada because it's easy for us to go up there, but them coming down here, and it's like there's this article. It's really hard to come down here and perform comedy unless like you just get residency stats or you come for like a job. And so the clubs there can pretty much act like a cartel, and like
Yeah.
Americans can get paid more because competition, but Canadians, it's just like Yuck Yucks runs everything.
Yeah, they also don't. They also will say we're your manager too. You can't work at these other clubs.
Yeah.
Canada.
But like, so
Yeah, it's
when
tough.
Just for Laughs took over this like Canada Funny or something XM network,
Mhm.
it basically what they would do is they would play like Just for Laughs like
Only those comics.
like content like from like a gala or something, which meant that like those people really
They're
weren't getting
already
paid out.
rich.
It's just wild like hearing about like Canadian stuff. You're like,
Yeah.
oh wow, like as
just-
bad as we think it could be.
It happened with the SAG negotiation too. All it is doing is making those top percentage of actors making money. It's making them more money, and the rest of the people, schmucks like myself, who aren't in like these giant shows or really well known, we don't really get that much more. This is a failure. Like I'm like I wish I could be more active in the leadership of the union, but
Wow.
I don't even get to do like on camera because I had to come in through SAG in the voiceover stuff. So I don't have like union reels. I
Mhm.
have some, the late show appearances, but I don't have any acting stuff because I was never able to establish myself on camera to get those auditions and those gigs. So it's like, well, will they listen to me as a voiceover artist?
I got two more things I want to ask you about. Did either of you see when they sort of poked fun at Fran Drescher on SNL a few weeks ago?
I
Mm-mm.
would have loved it. But I mean, it's brave to actually run for president.
Sure, absolutely. And then, do you now that this has happened, do you go back to work now?
Well, yeah. I mean, one of them, like I said, one of them could work, and then the other one we only didn't work because the other people have on-camera shows.
I see.
So yeah, we're definitely recording more.
And then animation expires next year, right? Like in a year, or a little
on
under
the
a year.
animators or the
Yeah.
I see. I was unfamiliar even with that.
Yeah, I think
geez.
there are two of them next year too. It's like the
Oh,
animation and something else is like, I think July. Two of them expire.
Well, yeah, it needs to be addressed.
Oh, my.
Because
Gee.
that's major content. It's like huge.
Yeah.
That's some of their most popular shows are cartoons. So
Absolutely. Which cartoon do you watch, Brandi? You watch cartoons these
I
days?
watch Polar Bears Cafe on Crunchyroll.
What is that?
I'm not even like an anime person. It's this one anime, and it's about a polar bear who. It's like these animals live in a town with humans, and it's not We Bear Bear. It came out before that, and the animals are like realistic. There's a polar bear who runs a cafe, and I thought it was like a children's show, and I tweeted about it, and some like anime nerds like, it's for adults. It made it for like 35-year-old women in Japan. I'm like, okay, whatever, that makes sense. Because this polar bear runs a cafe, and it's frequented by a penguin, a panda who also works part-time at the zoo. As just like all the animals work at the zoo like a day job. They like take the train in
Of
and they
course
come
they do,
home.
yeah.
And then humans also like exist in this universe, and they all work, and like the grizzly bear runs a bar where all like the really like dangerous animals hang out. There's like a crocodile, and it's great. Like there's an anteater, there's a tiger, a lion who's like a businessman who the lion and the tiger and the wolf make fun of because they're like, your mom like cooks your lunch or something. Like it's fantastic. Polar Bears Cafe.
What is that on?
Crunchyroll, and it's free with ads. It's an anime network.
So Japanese, Crunchyroll.
Yeah, it's the anime like network,
Wow.
but like Polar Bears Cafe. It's so funny. I love it. It's like it's sweet and wholesome, but like the panda bear is just a piece of shit because he's like really lazy, and even his mom. He lives at home with his mom, and he's like a teen. And like there's one scene where he goes to like a 7-Eleven to look for a job. His mom's like, you need to get a job. You don't do anything all day. And so he goes and he gets all these like magazines where like I guess they're listing jobs. And he goes like, which of these will have a job where I can get paid to do nothing? And I'm like, well, that's relatable, but yeah, he's a piece of shit.
That is, yeah. It's almost like they could do it through a cartoon, and there might be rules in Japan where they're not allowed to say that about actual men.
Like
But they
I
can
feel
say it
like they
about a polar
can.
bear.
Well, the polar bear is cool. He runs a cafe and he likes puns. And then the penguin is just angry all the time, and he has a drinking problem.
Don't they all?
Yeah.
Known for that.
Just
There's a
about that.
llama. There's a llama that is like really nice and everyone likes him, but like no one notices him, and they'll just like ignore him and like talk over him.
Oh,
It's really funny show.
that's the one I relate to then. Yeah, sure. I want to watch this show and see which one representation of a man I relate to.
Yeah.
I think we found it.
Polar Bears Cafe. I love it so much.
I
It's
love it.
great.
We gotta put a bow on this thing. Is there anything else we should be mentioning, Mary? As you take a big swing of
Vita
coconut
Coco.
milk.
Coco Wawa. I would like to, because it doesn't interfere with anything I'm doing at Acme or any of Acme's shows, I'm doing a 4 p.m. table read of a script I wrote.
I'm glad you brought this up. I saw it.
Thank you
Yes.
so
Yes, I'm
much.
glad you brought this up.
4 p.m. on November 25th, the Saturday after Thanksgiving, at the Community Access. You might like this, Brandi. It's at the Community Network 6, which is a really
over
cool
northeast.
facility. And we're doing that and then recording it.
What are you going to be reading?
A script I wrote with my writing partner, Susan Sandberg, and we're writing partners because the director, Peter Farrelly, from the Farrelly brothers, from Dumb and Dumber and the Green Book and that movies, he is a fan of mine on Sirius XM.
Oh wow.
And so one of his old writers was working on this pilot, and he's like, you know who you should collab with? This is this lady. This is gal in Minnesota, Mary Mack. You guys would work out great together. And I never had a writing partner before, and we work out. We click so easily, and like I bring like a big picture and punch up, and Sue has the detail. It's like it just works. So we're so happy. And this script is it's based on Sue's life. So it's about and I also share in some of these experiences. It's about a talented musician in her 30s who is about to make it big in music. That was never me, by the way. But who has to come back home to Minnesota and take care of her mom with Parkinson's. And it's, believe it or not, it's a comedy. But her siblings are just screwing everything up left and right. Like one of the sisters is like my sister. And then
Does your sister know that?
No, I haven't talked to her for several years.
Okay.
It's all working out.
She invited to the reading?
No, they don't. She's never left the county, so it's fine.
Made my stomach growl with that one. That one got me hungry.
But we got like 10 actors, and then I have a narration part, and Sue has a narration part. Then we rewrote it so that it's more like reads like a radio play, like we're telling a big story.
Yeah.
Versus something that's like exterior, laundromat, noon. You know, it's not that dry. It's
Sure.
a fun thing.
How long does the read last? Like, is it half an hour, hour and a half?
Well, because we're making it into a show, you know, we'll have a little live music, an intermission.
Oh, okay.
So you can have wine and beer. It'll be like an hour and a half.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, not even maybe, but it'll be fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have info like on your Facebook and stuff about that, right?
Yes, on my web, marymackcomedy.com.
MaryMackComedy.com.
Yeah, and then after that, come over to Acme and see the show. And my husband Tim is here in December, so look for Tim Harmston tickets Christmas week.
Damn right.
Yeah.
Make a great gift.
It'll be a great gift.
Come on.
Yes.
Oh, that reminded me. I forgot. I actually did do something big this year. I was in a 2.5 week writer and composer workshop where it was a music theater workshop where like 5 composers, 5 writers, and 5 performers were in a workshop learning about collaboration. And by the end of this 2-week thing, we wrote 5 different songs. Like they'd rotate a performer or a composer and a writer together. And I heard about it. Bill Corbett recommended me for it. It was paid too, and it was super cool.
Nice.
We had a show and
Bill from Mystery
Science.
Theater.
yeah, I had a
Of course.
podcast with him back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so it was like intense, but it was like every 40 hours we were releasing a new song.
And the
Wow.
lyricists were not musicians; they were just people.
Yeah, but
who
like the composers were like all like
Yeah.
really good. Like went to like grad school for that, and then the performers were like all really really good. So it was
Where
super
did
fun.
you perform them?
We performed. It was through Nautilus Theater, so we performed at Nautilus Theater, and then one at Augsburg, and then recently, like the group got together and we did a backyard show at someone's place in St. Paul. And my favorite piece that people seem to like is we did this a cappella piece where it was about a lion, a tiger, and a house cat. And it's called Cat Convention, and they all just like it's about just like a lion and a tiger meeting a house cat and just being like, what is even wrong with you? They're like, I do this, or like roar, and the cat's like, oh, I just cry when I'm hungry and I guilt humans. Like it's just it was a really fun
Is there any
workshop.
place like
Sounds so
could I
cool.
see that somewhere online now or no?
It's not available because it's supposed to be just like rough, and I'd have to get permission from the composer and stuff.
It's yearly though. The convention. Is
Yeah,
yearly.
they do it every year. They do the program every year through Nautilus, and so
What's the name of the program?
the Minnesota composer writer collaborative something. I don't know. Just
cool.
yeah, it was
Very
The
cool.
Twin Cities. Oh, that's me.
No,
Sorry.
that was me.
Oh, the Twin Cities is so cool. Like there's so many awesome things that happen here. Like that's amazing.
But there are some people I might like collab with. But like yeah, I like.
What if
writing.
you started a music writing career right now? That'd
I
be
honestly.
nuts.
oh my god.
I honestly have some ideas, and I think that like it was interesting for me because I was the only stand-up in the program, I'm only the comic in the program, and they pointed out that it was like I'd never written a song before, but they're like, actually, it's easier for you because you understand that like get to the point, like
Sure, I bet.
punchlines.
Word efficiency.
Yeah.
And like it was funny because at one point for an exercise, they're like, "We bet it's kind of hard for you not to write jokes." I'm like, "No, actually, I can write serious stuff too. It's just like if I wanted to write something funny,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, but yeah."
Yeah. Tim, are you back there? Oh, I thought he was coming back in.
Oh, that's cleanup crew.
Oh, okay.
All right, well, I gotta go. We gotta go.
Yeah.
Thanks, Justin.
Thanks.
Thank you. Great. I found out just a few hours before we recorded this that you were showing up. Fantastic surprise. You were great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Mary,
Thanks for having
always
me,
the
Mary.
best.
Thank you, Brandi.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Justin.
Yes, everyone should follow you guys on social media and come see what you're doing.
It's the Brandi.
Oh,
I'm on
yeah, we
Blue
should
Sky,
say. We should
Twitter
say.
still, Instagram.
I'm at Mary Mack Comedy on Instagram and Facebook, and I guess that I have a TikTok.
I followed it today.
You did. I
Yeah.
didn't even know how to get back to it.
I have a TikTok profile, but I just like locked it. I'm like, I know I would just be watching videos constantly. So I just.
yeah.
You're wise.
I won't do it.
You're wise.
Cheers. Thank you.
Yeah,
Justin.
thanks so
Thank
much.
you.